Hey, goes Mr. Random Pop Ultra News Freaker once again again, Mr. Wolverine. As always, guys are wrestling intros and outros channel. My social media titling such as Twitter X, aka all that stuff, Instagram, BShoot, Brighteon, all that other stuff, Rumble, Reddit, and once in a while, very rarely, extremely rarely, they're DeviantArt, Newgrounds, all that good stuff, and other social media platforms as well. Anyways, I haven't did that one that does a little light bulb in a while either. Anyways, if any of you guys really care about my stuff, you really give a rat's butthole and mice butthole about my stuff. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And if you really care about my stuff, please help the notification. Please subscribe. My fellow awesome, amazing, wonderful viewers out there. Unless you're old school one, you haven't seen me in a while. If you accidentally the algorithm, YouTube algorithm is unsubscribed to my channel, had you unsubscribe to my channel, please resubscribe again. It would mean the world to me. If you're a brand new person here, please hit the bell notification, hit the big giant, now it's like gray bluish / white grayish color, peach color subscribe button right there. I swear it is. Hopefully you come on this journey with me for many long years to come. I appreciate the hell out of you for joining me on this journey, adventure, reaction videos, and hype videos, and all this other good stuff that I normally do on this channel most of the time. I swear to God, I'm not trying to twist your arm, but if you truly want to go on this adventure with me, please hit the bell and subscribe. I don't say it enough. I should say it a lot more. Oh, and one last other thing. For any brand new audience members that are out there, I do have other extra social media accounts out there. 2 other ones I used to use a lot more extra back in the day. It was just new rounds of Dailymotion. I use Dailymotion no more, but it was another one I used to use. It was a Steam. It was a different website, but I don't remember what the hell it was. It wasn't Subscribestar either. It was a completely different, better one. It's called Livia ID. Definitely a real good one there. So please follow me over there too if you can. Anyways, out of the way, IndianaJones one I know. In the GreatCircle, the Order of the Giants. It kept playing on its own for like the first 10-15 seconds. So unfortunately, I kind of watched the first 15 seconds without you guys. So I already know what's gonna fucking happen. But it's really super short. I'm gonna put it 1-15 minutes because I got a little bit of extra current event news and drama news and extra news I'm gonna talk about. So I'm making this own video right out, separate videos. So we'll stay in tune for that. 3, 2, 1, let's get in.
Only podcast.
Let's go. Alright, so let's really jump into this bad boy. Let's get in. Order of the Giants. Freaking deep dive. Xbox podcast. I think it's only exclusively for him. I think the first Golden Circle one, the GreatCircle, is going to be December, early January. It's going to be for Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, so I'll finally be able to play it.
Games in this podcast range from E to M.
Should be real quick.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the official Xbox podcast, the only podcast that comes to you from inside Xbox. But we are not, as you may have noticed, in the regular studio because we are in Cologne, Germany at Gamescom, where among a lot of other things on this booth, we have the next chapter of one of my favorite games and probably one of your favorite games of last year, IndianaJones and the GreatCircle. That is the Order of Giants coming out on September 4th. It's a new DLC expansion that takes us back.
So it's going to be this month. It's crazy. I missed this one when they showed it at Gamescom, so I'm surprised. I must have went to the bathroom or something. I forgot to rewind it. The stream. You know, I was really old as hell by that point. I don't care. It's going to have to fortress speed up into the original casting of this original older video recording down below if you want to look at it in your own time without me interrupting and pausing every time.
To the Vatican and beyond, and I'm joined by Axel and Zeke from the team at Machine Games to learn more about this. So thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Okay.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah,
really lovely. Thanks.
So if people have missed the news, if people haven't been keeping track, can you tell us about the Order of Giants, what's in store for us, and what the story is here?
Absolutely.
It's Roblox there with all the freaking EX, not safe for work, child endangerment, freaking accusations they're being accused. I'm surprised. Roblox is allowed to be there.
To some extent, it's more of the same, and with the same, that's awesome adventure with Indiana Jones, right? So the DLC takes place a bit into the main storyline of Indiana Jones and the GreatCircle, so you need to play a bit into the game until you can get into the DLC from the Vatican sandbox. And the part that you will venture on then is a heavily story and narrative-driven DLC with a lot of surprises and turns and exciting things for you to explore.
Nice. And in terms of placing that DLC at this point in the game, what was the decision there? I think a lot of people often expect this to take place after the end of the main story. So why did you feel it was right to make this sort of a part of the original narrative rather than an extension to it?
There are several different reasons for it. I think we do have some gameplay reasons also, but for us it was important to try to make a DLC that fits within the game and is not something that is tucked on to...
The gameplay looks that crisp and clean on the Xbox Series X, and that's had matched now billion trillion times better than gaming PC. The PC graphics for that shit's gonna be off the damn rooftops with that shit. If it looks that good on freaking
or something happening before. It's actually part of the main game, deepening the main game experience while still being its own complete adventure. It is a standalone adventure that you are venturing on.
So beginning to end, you don't need to know the rest of the story. Like, you don't need to have played beyond this point. It's just it is its own little mini movie.
Exactly. You need to have played up until the point where you can initiate the DLC, but you don't have to have played the full game. Obviously, if you play the full game, you can just like go back to the Vatican Sandbox and venture into the DLC.
Okay. And tell me a bit about the development of this DLC. You know, was this always planned? Was this story always a part of your thinking, or is this something you came to later on after you'd finished the game?
Well, this is something that we wanted to expand on when we were originally creating the main story as well. So it was something we came back to, and it was like the whole idea of the Nephilim Order and further exploring how they fit into the main story of the Great Circle. And in terms of development, once we wrapped up sort of the base game, we immediately got designers and developers onto just prototyping. It was like a really great month of like, okay, make as many cool puzzles as you can. You know, we had just like a whole plethora of like really new, interesting ideas and mechanics. And, you know, when you're developing a game like this, you know, you bring in a lot of new people. And so there was a lot of people who joined in the middle of development who were, you know, never got to make their own big puzzle and never got to work on combat mechanics or something like this. And suddenly it's like, oh, okay, here's my opportunity. I get to like shine and own this thing from the beginning to end as opposed to just inherit it. Yeah.
That's why I like those little attention details. They still keep it the same way like a lot of the movies were for IndianaJones. Like the hidden passageways, the scary little rattlesnake, even with the little pigeons flying around all over the place. Small little nooks and crannies, attention to detail, little spams, Easter eggs like that. It's beautiful. It's sexy as heck, man. That's how you know the game developers didn't rush like a mother effer to get through this game. They really took their time, energy, and effort, and their sweat, and their tears, and blood into this freaking damn thing. Even though, yeah, they still have to do it for a full-time job, and the freaking big head honchos only do it mainly for money, but at least they gave a shit. They put a lot of love and treatment in this game. I never even played the first one. IndianaJones, the GreatCircle, before it came out last year either. So, and it already looks damn good to me. It's crazy. As long as there's not no woke political ideology crap like there was for the movie 2 years ago, and that's okay. That's all fine and dandy and all gravy with me.
Sounds like a game jam, but on the like within the framework of Indiana Jones. Is that?
Yeah, it was super fun. I mean, every day you would see like all day people just throwing out random videos and stuff. And given that, you know, people are also back in the office now, you know, during the main game we developed, it was like started during COVID. And so it's like if you made a prototype or something, it wasn't as easy to get somebody next to you to look at it, you know, even if
they said a YouTube algorithm. It wasn't me that said that freaking fake psyop word.
Silly. And I think it was much more easy to get buy-in and like somebody to help you. It's like, oh, I want to do this weird thing with water flowing this way, or okay, maybe you can push it this way, but I just don't know it. And then you suddenly like, oh yeah, that guy knows how to do all of that. They will tell me, they will help me through it. So yeah, it was a couple of weeks of lots of videos, lots of like show and tells and stuff as well.
And I guess like in terms of the structure of that DLC, you know, you're condensing the entire Indiana Jones experience into this shorter package. So is it really like you go through an entirety of development, you find out what your team's really good at, and then double down on that? You know, is this sort of the distilled version of Indiana Jones to some extent?
Yeah, I would say it is. And to piggyback a bit on what Zeke was talking about here as well, and in relation to what you're talking about, the game jam, I mean, obviously there was also a lot of like ideas and things that people wanted to try out, but maybe didn't find its place in the main game. But now there was an opportunity to dive deeper into some of that and just like expand, or, oh, here's a great idea that we didn't have for this thing over here in the main game, but now we can actually use it and push it further. And we did actually do that as a analysis of the main game. Okay. Like what are the things that we have excelled on, and where do we see that the game shines the most? Puzzles, set piece, intense narrative story moments, great cutscenes, you know, interesting new mechanics. So
this is the thing I'm not really crazy about puzzle solver sort of games, but if it's faithful for the freaking original movies from the old Steven Spielberg Indiana Jones movies, I'll be more than happy to put up with that, because that was most of his gimmicks of the movies. Action adventure, stuff exploding, all the old school car chase, horse chasing scenes, and solving all the puzzles and learning all the ancient historical artifacts about this thing and that thing. That's what the charm of those franchises that George Lucas created. Indiana Jones was supposed to be about. Let's keep going.
Like what you're saying, almost like a distilled version of the main game. Everything that people loved with the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is there, but in a shorter and smaller format. But everything is represented to some extent.
And how are you dealing with, you know, a player might be playing this for the very first time and they just come across this organically and enter the DLC as part of their normal playthrough, versus someone like me who's finished the game and is just coming back for that? Are you balancing difficulty? You know, how are you thinking about, you know, making this open to different types of players?
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure we had like challenging gameplay that fit the mold of the game. Like we want to make sure that players who are coming back would have the similar experience they did throughout the regular game. So we've actually added a new system where we're adjusting difficulty of enemies based on where you've gotten into the main story. So if I'm playing from the beginning, we're going to have easier enemies. But if I finish the campaign or I've gotten to Sukhothai, you know, we're going to expect sort of in-game kind of combat encounters. And of course, with all the puzzles that we still have the same systems set up with the camera. You can use the camera at any time on a bigger puzzle to get hints. And, you know, if you just need a nudge. And then also we're still supporting, you know, a lighter adventure difficulty if you want to just have a simpler puzzle or you're not as interested in doing these big hero puzzles.
Because obviously, I mean, that has been a core focus as well, to make sure that those players that only gotten so far into the main game will enjoy heavily, as well as all the fans out there that has completed the game and now want more.
And in terms of, if you were playing the full game and just this is a piece of it, the rest of the game lets you sort of jump around a little bit. You can go back to, say you've gotten beyond the Vatican, you can go back to the Vatican. Does that extend to the DLC as well? Can I get halfway through that storyline and then jump back somewhere else? Or are you kind of locked in once you get there?
So it's similar to the main game. If I, at any time, I can open up the journal, go to the travel section, and go to a different sandbox. My last save in Rome or my last save in Giza or wherever you were, it'll load me from there. And then if I want to, as soon as I want to go back to the DLC into that location, I can just go in the journal and I can just get started right back.
Yeah.
And just have to mention that those are some of the nice things that is just working under the hood that people do not really, you know, understand the effort from the engineers and from the design team on game design, like all the hard work that went in to actually make that work, because it feels nice and it just works. But it just works because of insane amount of hard work from engineers and designers. So
that's awesome. In terms of your point about kind of going back and looking at what you really excelled at, I had this question. I don't know if it's just me and my friends, but everyone I spoke to was like, did you spend 10 hours in the Vatican when you first played this game? Like, for some reason, that became like a real magnet for people that when they got there, they had to see everything. Was that part of the thinking in terms of why this is set here as opposed to elsewhere in the story, or was that more of a narrative decision?
Nah, it's a tricky question to some extent. I wouldn't say that we have been like 100% reacted and been trying to analyze data in terms of where do people spend the most time. The main reason from a narrative and from a story point of view is that the mystery really deepens in main game in Vatican when we start to exploring the tribe of giants and the mystery with the Nephilims. So it felt like a very, very natural place to put the DLC and then just expand. And I mean, we are kicking it off in Vatican, but then we go to Rome, you know, and the streets of Rome and what's happening underneath Rome. So it felt very natural from a narrative point of view, just due to the fact that the layering in the Vatican and the mystery that we kind of start to discover and unravel in main game is a good place to just like keep digging.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, like that we should cover, is that yes, it starts in the Vatican, but this extends well beyond the walls of where some of us have spent dozens of hours. So what was the thinking there? Was it about, did you just love the idea of showing more of this location? Like Rome is, you know, it's the same place location-wise as the Vatican, but is a very different feeling place. So was it about kind of that digital tourism of getting to show off a bit more of the world at this time?
I would say that I think that our passion for that biome and for that environment as a whole has also been part of that decision. It is a very layered and a place that kind of tantalizes your imagination in terms of what's happening more. What are all of these layers and where can we go from there? And there are some really cool ancient sites around Rome as well, where we maybe go or not go. So there is like a smorgasbord in terms of secrecy and legends and myth. It felt like a very good place to keep indie in.
Nice. Just to talk to the point of like the Vatican being a place where you could get lost. One of the things that we kind of set up really early on, at least with all the locations, is that we just really, there's this whole idea with game design and level design that's like, you need to have abilities and progression and experience points to kind of keep players like moving around and exploring. But with like places, I think with all the locations, with the art direction as well, it's like really one of the core things that we want to do is just like, like the art direction, the set dressing should be part of the experience. That should be the reward. Like going into, the Vatican, going into the Sistine Chapel is super beautiful, and if you do it right, then it's just nice to be there. You don't need us to say you've acquired the Sistine Chapel, and you don't need to sprinkle all sorts of cool goodies around. We can just take it all. And I think throughout the process, it was everybody was really respectful of that, and really kind of had a similar kind of restraint and an awe. They were also in awe of the spaces we were trying to build. Yeah.
I think I'm interested in terms of the story. Like at this point in the game, you have probably met Gina, but she's not a constant companion in the way she is in the rest of the game. So how are you approaching the cast of characters around this moment? Will we meet Gina along?
I know she was the first part of the freaking game, the GreatCircle, or she's brand new. She's in the Order of the Giants deep dive freaking game. I don't know.
As well, and you know who else is popping up here?
In the DLC, you are basically alone. Gina is not part of the adventure per se. She's not coming along. We do have other interesting characters, and we have some other returning characters as well. But the main new character that we introduce and that you do have a lot of interaction with is Father Richie, who is a priest that is very obsessed with certain ideas, and he's on the hunt for certain relics.
Right.
And he really wants help from Indiana Jones to investigate further, and that's how it all kicks off. And then you will meet up with Father Richie and his parrot Pio throughout the entire DLC. Present your findings, get more clues, and obviously learn more about this mysterious character, Father Richie, and Pio.
And so, with regard to that story being standalone, you know, you talked about wanting to dive more into the Nephilim, and which is obviously a huge part of the story later on. So, is it really about? Are you adding context for the rest of the game? I'm assuming it's not like changing the ending of the game or anything like that. So is it more about a player who's finished this will understand a little more about those final moments as well?
100%. It is absolutely that. And I think that's like the interesting part when we've been developing this, trying to make something that is in itself a high quality standalone product, a smaller game that is really, really fun to play with its own deep narrative and all the layering. But it also needs to feed into the main game and deepen the understanding of the world that we're, and the overarching narrative that we're telling in the GreatCircle. So it absolutely adds to the experience for the full game as well. But, you know, it is also, it's complete standalone.
Yeah, I mean, just like in the regular game, when you're picking up different notes and you're adding it to your journal, you know, you get a lot of like, you know, foreshadowing of events that will come, and you can always go back to the journal and read through it. So we, for the DLC, of course, we have a whole new post of new notes that you can pick up and new things and letters that you can read. So if you've already completed the game, you can go and collect every note the same way, be a completionist, and which I'm surprised so many people have really enjoyed doing in the base game. Like so many people was like, yeah, 100% of that, absolutely.
And there's plenty to find, right?
Yeah, there's tons to find, and so I think it fits really well into the whole narrative as well. You can go through all of your notes at the end of the game and just, you know, realize how much thought and how much thought has gone to all the layers of this mystery throughout the.
And in terms of that, the new stuff, you know, we've talked about this being a distilled version of the main game, but there are new elements here. Can you talk us through some of the totally fresh additions that you've made for this?
Yeah, so for the DLC, we've also added 2 new adventure books that will help you and give you new skills. But I think what we've been talking about is like how many new puzzles. There's just, I think that's a huge thing that we like really take a lot of.
One place in real life I'd ever get a chance to go to France or any of the European countries, I will never go in those fucking catacombs. Ever. No way in God's green earth. I'm going down there to a place that looks like a purgatory hell on earth. Because, like, I know there are, like, fake creepypastas, but, there's creepy demons and rats and all these other creepy-ass anomalies that happen when they're underneath there, yeah. I don't know if that's real or fake. It could be real. It could just been a fake psyop stunt performance that wasn't real. It made people not want to go under those catacombs and not do graffiti tags. I don't know if the French government set that up or that's a real thing. I don't want to freaking find out. That's one. I don't even have claustrophobia either. It's weird being trapped in. What if an earthquake happens? It'd be scary.
Is that all these puzzles feel very new. Like we have new mechanics. We're developing all sorts of new ways that Indy can interact with the world around him just because every puzzle is so custom and so, you know, well thought out.
New enemies, new boss fights, obviously new cutscenes, new environments, new biomes. And in the beginning, in development, you know, we were trying to like, okay, we maybe have to reuse some content here. We might have to reuse some content there, you know, because it needs to be production friendly. We need to be able to hit a pretty high pace in terms of production. In the end, almost everything is new. It's like there's so little reuse in the end because when you start digging and when you start working and fleshing out everything, it's like, hey, we don't really have this as part of the old environment art kit. We need something new here. It's like, and in the end, there's a lot of things in the DLC that is brand spanking new.
I just said rats would be underneath there, so they've really got the real version of Italy underground or France underneath the underground catacombs. Like, real, like, they got it down to a science there, man. Perfection's to see that.
I think to your point, Zeke, about the puzzles, like, that's one of the pleasures of the main game is hitting a new puzzle and being like, oh, I've not done this before. I have to relearn how to do all this. I was lucky enough to play the opening part of the DLC. And coming into the first puzzle, which we see a glimpse of in the teaser trailer, but I won't go into exactly what it is. Don't want to spoil it for anyone. But my first impression is, not only is this a brand new puzzle, it's a massive puzzle. Like, it takes a long time, especially if you're as stupid as me.
And me.
I mean, I'm always shocked at how long the puzzles can get, actually, yeah.
And, like, was that kind of part of the idea here, is that as a first puzzle in that thing, there's no element of, like, we're going to start small and build up. It's just like, here's a giant puzzle, solve this, please. You know, are you going for that sense of scale with these puzzles and wonder with them?
I think we have all sorts of different kinds of puzzle sizes. I mean, we do have these bigger hero puzzles, a few of them that really, kind of try to tell a story in its own and try to give a lot of context for the mystery that you're trying to solve. And then we have, what we call mysteries, the kind of smaller ones that, take a couple of minutes, a little bit of lateral thinking here and there. And then, of course, the sort of stuff that's just flavor, some living world things. Like, I'm going to pick up an envelope and try to put it in this mailbox and see what happens, and I'll let you discover.
But even in the beginning of the DLC, as you point out, there is a pretty big puzzle early on. But there are smaller puzzle segments before that. So we're kind of trying to ease it in a bit. But the thing is that we obviously heard and we saw a lot of feedback from fans of the main game out there that really enjoy difficult puzzles. So there are some puzzles in the DLC that is really tough. But then, of course, there are some puzzles that is more lighthearted and easier to get through. And we always have the hint system for players that, get stuck or don't want to spend too much time on a puzzle. You can always utilize the hint system to get through it quicker as well. Yeah. But yeah, heavy puzzles is absolutely a part of the DLC.
I think the thing that I enjoyed playing even just that small section is there's that sense of like pacing to how you're going through this. There's a little bit of exploration to get to that puzzle. Giant puzzle that takes me forever. I get through that, and then it opens out into this huge sort of set piecey, almost platforming section. There's no enemies to contend with. It's just, can you get through this broken down sort of, I don't even know how you describe it, like ancient building machinery. And was that a big part of the thinking, just constantly giving people that up and down arc rather than forcing them down one sort of set of mechanics constantly?
Yeah, I mean, I think it drives very much into the kind of thematic approach we had with main game as well, trying to find that balance between, it's not enemy encounters all the time. We do a lot of platforming. That sometimes in itself is almost like a puzzle, right? So finding that balance between combat, puzzle, platforming, combat, set piece, stealth, action. It's an important balance that we always try to hit with this game.
I would say as well, like during the main development of the game, you spend so much time trying to find that balance. You spend a lot of time like playtesting and understanding what players actually are doing, and you have to get out of your own head and understand what other people see. And I think after the game came out, or actually as we wrapped up game, like that kind of knowledge became just sort of intuition. We know now exactly, if we're going to do that puzzle, we really need it. It would be great if it opens up. It's no longer like some sort of doubt of like, we could try this. It's kind of like, we're going to need that, and everyone basically is on board for it.
And that platforming that you're referring to is actually one of my favorite platforming segments with the main game included. It is really, really good. And it was, first review pass on it was, maybe this is too long, maybe it's like a bit lengthy, but everyone just was loving it. It's like, no, this is so good. We need to keep this a very lengthy piece because it is very rewarding finding your way through that cavern.
I think it also has that classic indie thing of, it's not like you're solving this puzzle, it's like he's kind of accidentally getting through some of those bits, and I really love that feeling of like the game is effectively playing the director to some extent. It's a really lovely section. We are coming up to the end. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you'd love to talk about? Are there any surprises that you can tease towards for people? What do you want to leave people with?
I think that hopefully, and at least we feel that way, Machine Games feel that way, that the passion and the love and all the hard work, blood, sweat and tears that we put into the main game shines through in this product also. We have been very, very passionate about the DLC, and it was actually really, really cool to see that when you've been working on a game for so many years as we did on the main game, there was still passion left. People were really excited to work on it, and I think that shows in the end. And the other part of that is it's always been extremely important to make sure that the DLC has the same type of quality and fits within the main game perfectly. And there are segments in there that is absolutely the best we've done so far with this IP in terms of visuals and audio and all of that. So it is a high quality DLC, that's for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this has been a really fun DLC to work on. And it's also being here at Gamescom and in DevCom, it's been like so nice to have people come out and be like, I really love your game, and it's like, oh, okay, nice to meet you, see you later.
Well, I really love your game.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I cannot wait. The Order of Giants is coming out on September 4th. This so soon. And there's not much more to say than get it. It's going to be amazing. So thank you all for joining us on this episode of Official Xbox Podcast. We will see you for the next one. Until then, bye-bye.
And so, thoughts, views, opinions, speculations, bias, feelings, hot take, bullet points, broad, harsh opinions, and possibly my own personal view, hot takes on a hand. My speculations a hand on this thing. Man, dude, like, There was a lot here, man. There was a hell of a freaking lot. I'm about to dig out of this thing. Made a nice little drink of water. Hold on. I don't want to make this freaking video 2-3 hours, but I'll say this. It's content, 2-3 hours. Try to make this at least 7-8 minutes long. And it's probably going to be 40-50 minute video, which is a bitch. But hopefully you guys bear with me on that, because I still have to do those 3-4 other news article reviews. So if you want to just skip to that direction, or leave the link in the description box below where you want to skip all this part of me rambling and yapping and shit. The one thing I'm just going to say it. You've been on my channel for a long ass time, since 2011, 2012. You know, I'm the whole Alex Jones, AJ Jones, old school Mark Dice, old school other like conspiracy theory channels. I think a lot of them, 95, 99% of them are fact. Like 1 or 5% of them are way, way outside crazier, loonier than normal. Like there's certain things I don't believe in. All like the cryptids and the cryptoids. Most of those to me, there's just a bunch of red evil demon things in disguise, pretending to be animals. In my opinion, since I grew up in an evangelical Christian, freaking sort of church or whatever, more like Pentecostal church. So there's that, and then there's a lot of super hardcore, not hardcore, but like undertones, slowly, like religious things that are in there, like the Nephilim sort of things. I remember like there's older YouTube channels. I can't say them because I don't want their channels to get account. I don't want my channel to get like completely banned off the platform permanently. But there was another dude's name was KJ's What Happened. He talked about the certain race in the Bible that was like completely written out, and this sort of crazy loony theories happen, which I believe 110 billion% it's fucking real. I don't think they're fake, and they're just sci-fi things like how a lot of normie sheeps think about. But in the Book of Enoch thing, they said that there were giants bigger than the one that Goliath was, like David and Goliath, the one that David fought in the Bible, like those ones 10, 50 times bigger than that, like probably the size of the ones in the anime series Attack on Titan. That freaking big. And those were called the Nephilim or Nephilim at the time. And like I said before, no offense, if any of you guys are, very few of you probably, but if any of you guys are like in a religion, like you guys are Catholics or Jesuits or any of that type of shit, you're following the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to start beef or anger and piss you guys the fuck off. I'm just saying. Don't kill the messenger. Don't jump on my throat or any of that shit. I'm just saying. A lot of that stuff is very fucking. There's some of it that's true, but a lot of it's very, very lies. Huge, huge, massive lies that are in the Catholic version of the Bible. I didn't grow up Catholic, and I had to get 2 parasocial relationship with my mom's side of the family. They all grew up very, very huge Catholics. Well, she met my old man, and after that, she became Christian and all that stuff. Yada yada. All that other good stuff. There's a lot of shit in there. Like I noticed, especially with like the Roman Catholic people and the priests and Jews. I'm not saying every Italian person that's a Catholic's evil, devil worshiper, Satanist, Luciferian person that secretly serves the Antichrist, but the ones that are way, way at the top, in my opinion, and they're pretending that they're good people. But my personal opinion is the ones that sold out their souls, pretending that they really got a good relationship with the Mother Virgin Mary and Jesus and all them. Like, I feel like they're all liars and deceptionist peoples. Some of them probably still do a lot of nasty, evil, disgusting crap to little kids too. In my opinion, they're probably raping a lot of underage little boys and little girls. It's just sad as fuck to say. And like I said, any guys are Catholics, but you subscribe to my channel, probably can unsubscribe right away. I understand, I get it. I'm not trying to shit in your religion real bad, but ever since what the 70s or 80s, one of those Catholic priests got caught with little boys and stuff like that, doing nasty, disgusting, inappropriate, evil, demonic crap to them. It's been a freaking disaster ever since, unfortunately. I'm not saying the Christians, evangelical people are good either. Like, I don't trust either sides of religion, just like with politics. I don't trust any of those sort of things. It's just a psychological operation. My personal opinion, just have a good relationship, personal relationship with Jesus, Yahweh, Hashem, Jesus, God, the Lord, God Almighty. Okay, I'm the Heavenly Father and the Father God, the true Yahshua, Hashem, Jesus Christ that created the world and the universe and all that shit. You don't have to just go to the Virgin Mary. I never understood that thing. Why would you go to Jesus' mom? She didn't have no superpowers or did the miracles of walk on water and fed the 500,000 or 50,000 people with bread and fish. And she didn't make the blind see and the deaf speak and all these other things. She didn't do any of that. So I don't know why there's so much hardcore importance for Roman Catholics and Catholics out there. And once again, I'm not trying to shit on your guys' religion about this. I never really seen it. She was just a mortal human being that gave birth to the one that did all those signs, wonders, and miracles. So I never understood that shit. It's fucking weird. I know I'm probably never gonna get comments as somebody that was born maybe as a Catholic person. But like maybe you guys can like explain to me better if you leave me a comment down below, if you're going to my Twitter X or my Instagram. I don't know. And the other two things I'll say is this. Yeah, of course the graphics are gonna look good as always. I just hope there's not like a lot of hardcore complex like puzzle news. Well, like puzzle news. Puzzles like they're gonna piss me off so bad it's gonna break my $120. If I had an Xbox Elite controller, which I don't. Those things are starting to become like $400-800 just for the freaking Elite controller. I was gonna do a rant video about that. I didn't feel like doing it because it would waste my time. That's insanely disgustingly bad. Fuck you. You're an asshole, Microsoft, for doing that shit. You're a donkey jackass for making shit way more expensive. Same with Sony and Nintendo. The only one that has none of yet, Steam Deck. At least they give a shit about the freaking fans that play their game. And the last thing I'll say is this. There's a lot of like little animal things that are in there too. That's cool. I know there's a lot of freaking like different like creatures or animals like snakes and fishes and all this other stuff. I didn't really care about looking at the Sistine Chapel the whole time. Like that's something that I'm not trying to get too parasocial relationship, but that's on my mom's side of the family, especially my mom. I know she was real crazy about Italian and then like two other cultures. I don't really say very much. I think Romanian culture and like Turkish culture. That's the stuff that she's super big into, and stuff from Spain and Barcelona and all that stuff. I never really gave like two squirts of piss about most of that stuff. It'll bore the hell out of me. I'm sorry. Even if I had that much money to go to Italy, it's just I wouldn't do it. The first two places I'm going to visit for a week is either Japan first, that, or maybe in New Zealand, and then probably Puerto Rico third if I had like millions and millions of dollars to do that. But fortunately not. Maybe my dreams are after when I'm gone in this earth 8 feet deep, after I'm dead. Then I'll see it. Who knows? Unless I go to the other bad place, which I hope I don't. Final thing I'll say is this. Hold on. I had to take a big gulp of water there. The fighting combat still doesn't look that interesting. It's just like really, really weak and flimsy. And like, still a bunch of ragdoll fights. They need to do better in the freaking fighting scenes. I knew you get to use a lot of firearms and weapons and pows. Like all that shit, you get to use that and swords and all that. That's cool, but the fist-to-fist one, that's not that good. I know it's mainly not really a fighting game anyways, because I'm in a big-time fighting simulator games. That's just the only complaint I have about this. I don't know how that other dude, preacher, like priest guy, the father Richie dude, is supposed to be. I don't know if he's gonna be a good guy or he backstabs you in the end, or he's your friend all the way to the end, even after the DLC story's over. I don't know how that's gonna play out, because they said there was gonna be a lot more different characters and a lot more extra new characters, new people, new places to see, more places to visit, and all that stuff for this DLC. So it's probably gonna be badass. Who knows? So let's get to the internet drama news and current event news. To you guys in a quick ass millisecond. Hold on. Okay, so first one, it's a little bit of a sad somber one, but I swear the other 2 or 3 is going to be a lot more extra uplifting and positive news. So this is from Japan Times. Most Japanese teens struggle with the school find end of the summers very painful. It's got a credit to Miss Jessica Speed from Japanese Japan Times. Only I'm going to say is this because I found it from another YouTuber channel. I think 2 other YouTuber channels. I think it was either this other chick, Sakuna Nioka, or I think it was Scooch-chan. I talked about it. I don't know. So this one says, I'll leave the link down below if you want to read the whole entire thing, article. So I don't want to make this a 50-minute video like I did before with the Kirby Air Riders direct thing that I literally just posted up yesterday. By the time you guys see this, probably going to be the 7th, 8th, or 9th. September is going to be very, very late. So it's Dyson Kazuko. It's currently operating Gikorun, an alternative online space where struggling teens can now share their worries and connect with others. Haruka Okamura, chairman of the organization, said many young people hesitate to seek help if in the real world due to, quote, due to a disturbance of the adults, fear of stigma, or reluctancy or betrayal to their parents. Oh yeah, honoring their parents, honoring their grandparents, all that. That's gotta be tough as hell in so many Asian countries, man. So it says, even when support is available for some of the children cannot take their first steps, he said, while reading this quote, while reading the real world feels hard to navigate, and the internet can provide a place to speak honestly, those voices often fail to reach adults, leaving young people effectively silenced in their everyday lives. We hope publishing this serves and amplifies the voices of adults and others who don't hear. And I think this is the one I was talking about. I don't know. Oh no, it was another one. Her name was Ember's something. Ember's Paradise, I think. Or Ember's Paradox. I think that's what her VTuber channel's name was. So yeah, this is the one I found it from. It was another really, really old one. It was called Substack. Here it was. It says patient stories. So adoptive parents sometimes have to close their eyes, open their hearts, and then yada. Little girl, what happens? Yeah, this sad shit, man. They're going to a lot of really, really messed up stuff out there in Japan. I never knew they were going to a lot of political crap over there too, which that's rarely, really we're talking about. Unlike, except for a billion time, I do not like getting into that type of touchy shit subject about religion or political shit and all that stuff. Just starting altercations, confrontations with people like that. I fucking hate that shit with every goddamn fiber might be. Cannot stand that shit at all in the slightest. Anyways, get some new stuff. I was gonna react to this. I just decided to watch on my own time though. So it says Digimon Storytime trailer shows off series growth in a new trailer. Storytime Strangers Digimon has just dropped. And the story trailer was like 5 days ago. By the time you guys see it's almost like 2 weeks old. We're impressed to see how much of the series will look like. Having grown from prior entries comes from Sean Lawson. Got a credit to him. So let's move on real quick. I'm just gonna read the first paragraphs. You guys can read if you want. If you've been keeping up with the upcoming Digimon series, you'll know that it's looking a little bit ruddy for the good RPG system. Digimon Storytime Strangers new story trailer keeps our expectations high, showing off massive growth between these entries and previous ones within the series. Okay. It says RPGs or fans are hyped. Says when they land, you'll find the Digimon Storytime trailer achievements here. October 3rd, so it's gonna be next month. Cool, it's getting super close around the corner. There's currently no words on this title coming to the Xbox Pass. It really does feel like every time we see a new footage of Digimon Story trailer, we're only getting more hype. The latest trailer dropped on Better Below and it's given us a good idea of what storyline will unfold during our time with others. Yeah, our time with the game. The game continues to shine and looks to be a real contender for our list for the best Xbox RPGs. There's one there if you want to watch your own time. I'm not going to rat it out one because I'm going to watch it on my own personal time because I only tried to do it before. I only got 4 or 5 views. I know viewership and everything is not every single thing on YouTube. I know liking and hitting the bell notification to doing the comment down below is what makes more and more people watch your stuff. But as far as I've never been in this shit for the money, I never will be. So, and then the last 2 is pretty crazy. A little sad and depressing, but the other one is a little bit crazier too. This one had me hyped as freaking heck. Originally, this is from like, I think, Men's Journal, but had the OG from the late 60s, 70s, and especially 70s, 80s, and 90s. Old school freaking martial arts act. I just watched it in June, it came out May 26th or 29th of this year. Jackie Chan movie, The Karate Kid Legends. So you know, I'm probably gonna have to check this shit out too. The Spider-Man Brand New Day gets an assist from Jackie Chan. This comes from Ryan Brett. Get a credit too. You guys can read the rest after the first two paragraphs I go through. So there's a new Marvel movie. I know a lot of them get super politicized, especially if you get woke and the whole girl boss horse shit and all that snowflakey crap. But I just like watching some of the action. Yes, this Tom Holland's friendly new neighborhood Spider-Man has just scored a new mentor, Jackie Chan. Martial arts legends not only stunned by the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day, but the stunts. The new Marvel movie will have a very Jackie Chan-esque feeling, and this isn't the first time Jackie Chan's unique request style has been combined with the MCU. It says, quote, Jackie Chan stunt team was working with the Brand New Day. It says, quote, my Jackie Chan stunt team was busy filming Spider-Man, and I was in the action hero for the Jackie Chan stunt team, told HK01, I don't know what that means, 01, Hong Kong, okay, which was later translated and reported by EW. I went to the rehearsals, and the director, Dustin Daniel Cretin, was so excited when he saw him. Oh, I bet he was really super hyped to see that dude, man. When seeing the badass effort like my boy Jackie Chan, he's doing no freaking stunt performance, like action adventure scenes, like all the fight, kick-assing, punching, kicking scene. That's just gonna be so freaking lit. So Gen Z could say fire. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be absolutely cinema. 10 out of 10 cinema. Sort of shit. Whatever else Gen Z says. Oh my god, I cannot wait. I hope this movie isn't politicized, or it's preachy, or silly, or hokey, and all that, and just too crazy comedic, and they get way too crazy with the jokes. It'd be cool if it was edgy, but I doubt they're ever gonna do that. And the last little bit of news. It's kind of sad here. I already watched the video myself, but dude, it's happened like 2 months ago. There was another more recent one that happened 2 weeks ago. I think it was like UK or Australia, because dude had a real thick Australian accent or New Zealand accent. But this wasn't it. There was another guy. He was trying to steal more Pokemon TCG cards, which was really, really bad. So I'll see if I remember to leave the link. Search box down below. His name was Pokelotto. And he was doing like some sort of convention. He was like a vendor at this Pokemon, I guess, TCG like convention thing that they were doing, or Pokemon like event thing they were doing, either New Zealand, Australia, somewhere, in the UK, whichever one it was, because he had the thick Aussie accent like that. But this one was massive different. He had, I think, stole a secret rare Charizard card, Dragonite, and a Team Rocket like freaking Gyarados card, all holographic ones, but it was the 25th anniversary versions of those. So this one was different. Dude gets arrested for stealing Pokemon TCG cards shown in Pasadena. This shit was bad, man. It was really, really messed up. And it's crazy because the other dude that was behind him, the other two police officers, I'm not sure if they were doing their job the right way or the wrong way, but man, they fucked up so bad, dude. And you kind of know when it comes to police officers and law enforcement, I don't like most of them. A lot of them are probably just Freemason, Illuminati, Satanists that think they could just take anyone's life whenever they want, even if it's an innocent person, regardless if they didn't do any crime or not. I'm not gonna get into that fucking Riley emotional rant, because I will scream my fucking head off if I get in that fucking real nasty ass, very controversial views and takes. I ain't trying to bring that to my channel. Oh, but this is it right here. This other dude right here, the scumbag little POS motherfucker right here, he ended up stealing another card. The one that has the lanyard and his little like smartphone picture. Not the police officer, obviously. But dude, man, they're still corrupt police officers anyways. He could have been a kid like from the 80s or 90s and he got into Pokemon later on. Who knows? The other one I highly doubt. He looks like he's 55 or 60. This one, it looks like he's in his 30s or 40s, so I don't know. Who knows? And the way they were manhandling the dude, like, and I get it, I'm not defending the other dude, the other guy, not trying to be racist. This is in California. That's the melting pot of the freaking country next to New York City. Cali. But dude, man, They really were manhandling him really hard, man. I'm not defending him. I stole a whole bunch of bags, loads worth of cards. That's extremely effed up. You shouldn't get no slap on the wrist for that shit. I'm not gonna say you should be thrown to life in prison for that. This just throw as a misdemeanor or something, you know? Give him maybe a week, maybe a month in jail. Not in the hardcore prisons where all the real people that are drug dealers and gangbangers and people that are actual murderers and people that take away people's lives and shit. You shouldn't go there. In my opinion. I don't know how to do this. It's fucked up. He looked like one of my old school friends, except he was Colombian, Dominican, or I think he was Colombian, Guatemalan, Mexican. He wasn't one of the Asian dudes like this. So this is the one I was getting arrested now. This guy right here, the one with the bowl cut and the glasses, and they threw him really hard on the ground, man. That excessive force for a geek nerd that loves the shit out of Pokemon like me, because I am a super hardcore geek nerd when it comes to TCG shit. That shit's collecting, that's like heroin crack. It just mesmerizes you mentally and nostalgically. Not to steal cards, but to keep buying more and more until you're freaking broke up the ass. I'm just saying. And that's it. That's it for the monitor. Let's switch buttons on below, card on the side. I'm done with this video. Wipe my hands clean, and that's it. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen, bros and boys and parents, as always. Talking to Marty's. I'll see you when I see you guys day, good night, wherever in the world, the universe out there. Don't just smoke at the same time with the rockets, especially don't be stealing no TCGs from any franchises, not just Pokemon. That goes for Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, all the anime mangas out there. Don't steal shit from anyone or anything. Just saying. It's an FYI. And then stay tuned for the future content virtual VTuber drama news, video game industry news, stuff from Dexterra, Sportskeeda, That Part Place, all those other good drama bait news places, and of course, stuff when I do my reaction review commentary, mostly a lot more reaction review videos, segment commentary, rant videos now, like live action or animation, movie film reaction, hype review segment, reaction review segment, hype reaction review segments to video game trailers, and of course the last one, reaction reviews, sometimes hyper reaction reviews to any cartoon animations as well. And of course rant videos as well, once in a while Elon Musk news as well, and that's it. Peace out, my sauerkraut. Let's and bye. See you guys on the flip side. Take it easy, sexually severe cautious. Don't take anything big pharma, big tech, and all this other stuff. Don't put in the needles jabbing in your what. Don't take it into the freaking hydrogel or any of those nasty, evil, messed up nanobite crap. It'll take out your life way, way faster. It's no good, no bueno. I'm not a doctor or scientist. I'm just saying. I never trust that shit with an inch of my life. Oh, one last other thing. I may or may not do a reaction to possibly, maybe. I know it's some Nickelodeon news that chick, Jenny, the teenage robot, she was coming back in this other show, in this video game. That's going to be fun. Maybe I might do a reaction to that. Who knows? Now, unless I'm too lazy to do it, I'll leave the link to the information in the news description below. Alright, take it easy. I'm going out. Sexually so cautious. Goodbye, and I will see you guys in the next future rant commentary videos. Goodbye, everyone. Take it easy. I'm out. Deuces. See you soon. I'm out. Take care, everyone. Later.